Jobs up, but so is inflation. Your news update, and we Netflix and DVD. Yeah, that's right. On this edition of Arbitrage News Weekend, starting right now. Hello and welcome to Arbitrage News Weekend for December 3rd, 2022. I'm Joshua Stark. The nation's employers kept hiring briskly in November despite high inflation and a slow-growing economy, a sign of resilience in the face of Federal Reserve's aggressive interest rate hikes. The economy added 263,000 jobs while the unemployment rate stayed 3.7%, still near a 53-year low, the Labor Department said Friday. November's job growth dipped only slightly from October's 284,000 gain. All year, as inflation has surged and the Fed has imposed ever higher borrowing rates, America's labor market has defied skeptics, adding hundreds of thousands of jobs month after month. America's newest nuclear stealth bomber is making its public debut after years of secret development and as part of the Pentagon's answer to rising concerns over a future conflict with China. The B-21 Raider is the first new American bomber aircraft in more than 30 years. Almost every aspect of the program is classified. Ahead of its unveiling Friday at an Air Force facility in Palmdale, California, only artists' renditions of the warplane have been released. Those few images reveal that the Raider resembles the black nuclear stealth bomber it will eventually replace, the B-2 Spirit. The bomber is part of the Pentagon's efforts to modernize all three legs of its nuclear triad, which includes silo-launched nuclear ballistic missiles and submarine-launched warheads as it shifts from the counterterrorism campaigns of recent decades to meet China's rapid military modernization. Twitter has suspended rapper Ye after he has tweeted a picture of a swastika merged with the Star of David. It is the second time this year that Ye has been suspended from the platform over anti-Semitic posts. Twitter CEO Elon Musk confirmed the suspension while replying to Ye's post of an unflattering photo of Musk. Ye called it his final tweet. "I tried my best. Despite that, he again violated our rule against incitement to violence. Account will be suspended," Musk tweeted. Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, has made a series of anti-Semitic comments in recent weeks. On Thursday, Ye praised Hitler in an interview with conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. Believe it or not, an iconic part of the Atlantic City Boardwalk is closing soon. The Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum said Thursday that it will close on December 31st after more than 26 years of tempting boardwalk strollers with oddities including shrunken heads, mutant animals, and models of unbelievably tall or small humans. The building that houses the museum is an instantly recognizable feature of the boardwalk. It is designed with a giant globe that appears to have smashed into the front of the building and wedged part of the way inside of it, cracking the foundation from top to bottom. The actual foundation remains intact, by the way. We're grateful for the support of our fans and guests whose curiosity, open-mindedness, and enthusiasm have contributed to our success over 26 years, Chris Connolly, the museum's manager, said in a statement. More after this on Arbitrage News Weekend.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This week's ARBITRAGETRADE.com blog includes there's always Plan B, Consumers Back in Black Friday, and We Netflix and DVD. All this and more in this week's Arbitrage blog, available now at ARBITRAGETRADE.com. Now let's go to the president and CEO of Arbitrage, Mr. Royce Wells, for more. Royce, Walmart. Have you been there lately?
Yes, actually.
It's a scary place around this time of year.
Last time I went was near Halloween. We were looking for fake blood for my son's Dracula costume.
Fake blood
Yes.
at Walmart.
And they had it.
You can get pretty much everything at Walmart these days, including robot bees, apparently.
What?
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? The bee population is dwindling. Ari has already done an expose on this, which you can check out at arbitragetrade.com. And the thing is that bees are not, they're not pollinating like they used to, right? Humans can't pollinate. Unfortunately, it'd be not feasible nor economic for humans to pollinate crops and wild plants by hand.
Hey, if you've got the money, honey, I've got the time. Quite literally.
So you would do the hand pollination thing, which means that you would have to figure out which species would cross pollinate well.
It sounds like we are an analytics company. It sounds like fun.
Bees do that though, and now robot bees, which also speaks to the analytical, right?
Yeah, but let's see how small they can get. We got bees. Can we get mosquitoes? I mean, if we're gonna do nano, let's do really nano.
Why would you create a robot mosquito?
There are certain people I don't like, Josh. Just gonna leave it at that.
I'm aware of this, and I'm glad I'm still on the good list. Let's just put it that way. I am still on the good list, right?
If you see a swarm,
okay.
No, you're still good.
Continuing with the news article, and fearing for my life, somebody call 911, please.
Forget the birds. We got
Forget the birds. Forget the birds. Oh my! All right, so pollination drones.
Yes.
Pollination drones is a term that Walmart has coined for these. Could potentially pollinate crops and plants just as efficiently as real bees. Their claim is that the drones can do everything that real bees can with the use of sensors and cameras, kind of like a Tesla, but instead of driving a car, it's driving a bee.
Interesting.
Locating crops and relevant parts of the crops for pollination.
So do they still make honey?
I don't think so.
Then what's the use?
But Walmart has filed these patents and apparently has got 5 other patents for farming drones, all with different purposes.
Nice.
It's not clear whether these patents are going to be acted upon or what's gonna happen with them. But
I say they get with Elon, send them to Mars, and we have an entirely pollinated planet.
Here's my theory, is the fact that Amazon and Walmart are probably going to go to war in a few years.
Oh boy, let's see it.
I mean, actual war. I'm not talking like a price war. I'm talking about guns and people and drones.
I'm going to buy paintball ammo right now. Let's go.
More after this on Arbitrage News Weekend.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Elon Musk said that Twitter plans to relaunch its premium service that will offer different colored check marks to accounts this week, in a fresh move to revamp the service after a previous attempt backfired. It's the latest change to the social media platform that the billionaire Tesla CEO bought last month for $44 billion, coming a day after Musk said he would grant amnesty for suspended accounts and causing yet more uncertainty for users. Twitter previously suspended the premium service, which under Musk granted blue check labels to anyone paying $8 a month because of a wave of imposter accounts. Originally, the blue check mark was given to government entities, corporations, celebrities, and journalists verified by the platform to prevent impersonation. In the latest version, companies will get a gold check, governments will get a gray check, and individuals who pay for the service, whether or not they're celebrities, will get a blue check, Musk said Friday. All verified accounts will be manually authenticated before the check activates, he said, adding it was painful but necessary and promising a longer explanation this week. He said the service was tentatively launching December 2nd. Twitter had put the revamped premium service on hold just days after its launch earlier this month after accounts impersonated companies including pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly and Company, Nintendo, Lockheed Martin, and even Musk's own businesses, Tesla and SpaceX, along with various professional sports and political figures. It was just one change in the past 2 days. On Thursday, Musk said he would grant amnesty for suspended accounts, following the results of an online poll he conducted on whether accounts that have not broken the law or engaged in egregious spam should be reinstated. The yes vote was 72%. Such online polls are anything but scientific and can easily be influenced by bots. Musk also used one before restoring former U.S. President Donald Trump's account. The people have spoken. Amnesty begins next week. Vox Populi, Vox Dei. Musk tweeted Thursday using a Latin phrase meaning the voice of the people, the voice of God. The move is likely to put the company on a crash course with European regulators seeking to clamp down on harmful online content with tough new rules, which helped cement Europe's reputation as the global leader in efforts to rein in the power of social media companies and other digital platforms. Zach Myers, senior research fellow at the Center for European Reform think tank, said giving blanket amnesty based on an online poll is an arbitrary approach that's hard to reconcile with the Digital Services Act, a new EU law that will start applying to the biggest online platforms by mid-2023. The law is aimed at protecting internet users from illegal content and reducing the spread of harmful but legal content. It requires the big social media platforms to be diligent and objective in enforcing restrictions, which must be spelled out clearly in the fine print for users when signing up, Myers said. Britain is also working on its own online safety law. Unless Musk quickly moves from a move fast and break things approach to a more sober management style, he will be on a collision course with Brussels and London regulators, Myers said. European Union officials took to social media to highlight their worries. The 27-nation bloc's Executive Commission published a report Thursday that found Twitter took longer to review hateful comment and removed less of it.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What?
No!
Yep. And my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time.
What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
I have a tendency to hibernate during Black Friday. You know why. I used to run a retail store that was pretty relentless in Black Friday operations.
I see.
Here's the thing, right?
Glad that's over.
Well, you and me both. Matter of fact, I sent him a text message going, "Have I thanked you for my job lately?"
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
rub that in. Let that sink in.
So here's the thing, right? It hasn't been really prevalent for the last couple of years because of the big C, not cancer, but COVID.
Yes.
And we have finally gotten back to what they're calling normal with Black Friday. However,
normal with these inflation? Come on,
that's the key. That's the key. However, we have inflation to deal with. So, technically speaking, what you have is the correct traffic flow, but not necessarily the.
Everyone's being more selective with their choices.
That's the thing, right? Right. So everything's going up, but your paycheck, right?
We got to fix that.
I would appreciate that,
right?
But let's talk about what we have here. We have a lot of people that are more cautious about what they are buying. So you have spending, but it's not necessarily in the same frequency nor the same amount that we have normally, because they're looking for big sales. They're looking at what their savings are. They're even turning to stuff like Klarna and Afterpay and Zip, which I'm very familiar with because people used to use it at my retail store. Klarna, Afterpay, and Zip all have pay-in-4 installment plans. You would get... you would sign up for Klarna, for example. You would get a Visa card on your smart device, and that Visa card was good at the store that you were at the time. And they would set up a payment plan. Every 2 weeks, they would bring out a payment. But
nice.
Like I said before, everything's going up but our paychecks. So it's kind of one of those things where Black Friday is a cautionary tale more than anything else.
I can definitely agree with that. So I was actually looking at some Black Friday deals, right?
Yeah.
And I saw them like 20% off. That's like a Bed Bath & Beyond. That get those in the mail all the time. That's not a Black Friday deal. 20%? Only 20%? We can do a whole lot better than that. So, like, I'm not going to fight someone for 20%.
Right. So here's the thing, right? We're seeing a trend to not early shop, but online shop. So what you see is discount rates online being 31%, up from 27% last year. You see,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you see things like a discount of you see fighting. You see brick and mortar kind of fighting with online this year.
Yes, because it's always cheaper to do it online.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Cyber Monday in another article on arbitragetrade.com/blog. But I think I'll continue hibernating on Black Friday.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing. I saw nothing that made me get out of bed on Black Friday. So maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Days after flocking to stores on Black Friday, consumers turned online for Cyber Monday to score more discounts on gifts and other items that have ballooned in price because of high inflation. Cyber Monday is expected to remain the biggest online shopping day and rake in up to $11.6 billion in sales, according to Adobe Analytics, which tracks transactions at over 85 of the top 100 U.S. online stores. That forecast represents a jump from the $11.7 billion that consumers spent last year. Adobe's numbers are not adjusted for inflation, but it says demand is growing even when inflation is factored in. Some analysts have said top-line numbers will be boosted by higher prices, and the amount of items consumers purchase could remain unchanged or even fall compared to prior years. Profit margins are also expected to be tight for retailers, offering deeper discounts to attract budget-conscious consumers and clear out their bloated inventories. Shoppers spent a record $9.12 billion online on Black Friday, up 2.3% from last year, according to Adobe. E-commerce activity continued to be strong over the weekend with $9.55 billion in online sales. Salesforce, which also tracks spending, said their estimates showed online sales in the U.S. hit $15 billion on Friday and $17.2 billion over the weekend, with an average discount rate of 30% on products. Electronics, activewear, toys, and health and beauty items were among those that provided a big boost, the two groups said. Meanwhile, consumers who feared leaving their homes and embraced e-commerce during the pandemic are heading back to physical stores in greater numbers this year as normalcy returns. The National Retail Federation said its recent survey showed a 3% uptick in the number of Black Friday shoppers planning to go to stores. It expects 63.9 million consumers to shop online during Cyber Monday, compared to 77 million last year. MasterCard Spending Pulse, which tracks spending across all types of payments, including cash and credit card, said that overall sales on Black Friday rose 12% from the year ago. Sales at physical stores rose 12%, while online sales were up 14%. Retail Next, which captures sales and traffic via sensors, reported that store traffic rose 7% on Black Friday, while sales at physical stores improved 0.1% from a year ago. However, spending per customer dropped nearly 7% as cautious shoppers did more browsing than buying. Another company that tracks store traffic, Sensormatic Solutions, said store traffic was up 2.9% on Black Friday compared to a year ago. Shoppers are being more thoughtful, but they're going to more than a few retailers to be able to make a determination of what they are going to buy this year, said Brian Field, Sensormatic's global leader of retail consulting and analytics. Overall, online spending has remained resilient in the past few weeks as eager shoppers buy more items on credit and embrace buy now, pay later services that lack interest charges but carry late fees. In the first 3 weeks of November, online sales were essentially flat compared with last year, according to Adobe. It said the modest uptick shows consumers have a strong appetite for holiday shopping amid uncertainty about the economy.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous, as in Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Royce, when's the last time you put a DVD in the DVD player?
Funny you should say that. Thanksgiving Day.
Seriously?
Yes. And this is why. And you put me on a soapbox because you asked me that question. Disney.
That's the idea.
Disney. There's a tradition that we have. We watch the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
in the streaming version, they have cut out the song, which is, in my opinion, the best song in the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Wait a minute.
So we had to actually break out the DVD to actually see the song "The Love Is Gone" in the Muppet Christmas Carol, because that has literally been cut out to make it fit within a certain time window.
Is it a time limit thing, or is it a content thing?
Or maybe it was just too sad. I don't know. But it upset me, and yes, we pulled out a DVD, and yes, we still have a DVD player specifically to be able to watch the classics uncut.
You know, Disney especially has a tendency to cut their online stuff. I've noticed certain movies, certain programming. They'll even put a disclaimer at the front of it, which some of it, yeah, it's definitely warranted. But you know, things like Lilo and Stitch, where Lilo crawled into the oven at one point, just playing around, changed it to crawling inside the dryer. That was kind of weird, but
right.
You know.
The other thing that basically I don't like about streaming, and I understand why Netflix still has a streaming DVD selection, right?
Right.
Amazon has also done this to me. Mary Martin's Peter Pan. I bought it. I can't find it in my streaming services. I owned it. I purchased it, but it's gone.
You purchased it online digitally.
Yes, and can't find it. Now no longer available on Amazon Prime.
See, that isn't right. If you purchase something, it should be yours, right?
Yeah, but the licensing, if it's no longer licensed to be streamed, then guess what? It's gone.
Well, the reason why we're talking about this is the fact that Netflix still has their DVD selection, and I was really surprised by this. Netflix, of course, started in the DVD by mail service. I remember this.
Yep, by Blockbuster.
Like 25 years ago, right?
What happened to Blockbuster? Netflix and chill.
25 years ago, Netflix started sending out their red envelopes. I mean, it was a big thing, right? Because you could get online, you could go through their extensive library and see just a huge amount of DVDs you wouldn't normally find in stores.
Yeah, and Blu-rays.
And here's the thing, right? It's still around.
Why not?
It's still around.
It's not a dead technology. Vinyl's still around. It even made a comeback.
Yes, absolutely.
See?
So
it's retro cool.
It is. They no longer tell you how many DVDs you can get, but it's estimated 100,000 they did have at one point. Here's the thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Where would you store all that? In an Amazon warehouse?
That's a good question. You know, there is a fascinating thing about, actually, I believe that's correct. I believe they did an Amazon-type warehouse at one point, using services like Paramount and that sort of thing that had physical warehouses that stored DVDs.
Nice.
Interesting things that you can find on that. More about that on arbitragetrade.com/blog. Have a great weekend, by the way.
And we're out of here.
Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC, is a privately held market research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC, is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the content of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to be investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC, please visit arbitrage